Welcome in to New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green, and in today's show, we're going to be breaking down the Giants' latest news and rumors. But first, I want to give a shout out to today's presenting sponsor, Aura, an all-in-one digital safety tool that will help you protect yourself online, and you can get started with a 14-day free trial at aura.com/chatsports. I'll put the link to that in the comments section and description of this video, and I'll tell you more about them in just a couple of minutes. But to start today's show, let's talk about Wan'Dale Robinson, the rookie wide receiver out of Kentucky, the second-round draft pick in 2022. A guy that a lot of Giants fans, once he was picked, was booed for the simple fact that they didn't think he was going to go in the second round. A lot of people had him as a third or fourth round guy. He's 5'8". A lot of 5'8" receivers don't make it in the NFL. But Wan'Dale Robinson is already impressing opposing Giants players on the roster, and as well as the head coach, Brian Daboll. Brian Daboll spoke about Robinson at OTAs, and this is what he had to say about the rookie pass catcher out of Kentucky. He said, "I think he can play inside, and I think he's strong enough and fast enough, and even though he's a smaller, shorter guy, that he can contribute outside too." Again, what we're trying to do is put as many generating pieces out there to create pace and stretch the field, whether it be vertical or horizontally, and this is another good guy that has the ability to run after the catch, which is an important aspect of it. And you can see that's the type of player the Giants, they want on this roster. They want generators with the football, as Joe Shane would call it. And what does that mean? That means you can throw Wan'Dale Robinson a screen route, a slant route, a 1-yard drag route, and he can make plays with the ball in his hand. A yak type of receiver. Yards after catch. That's going to be important for the Giants this year. The Giants, they want to play with speed and space. They want to scheme guys open, whether, like Brian Daboll said, it's on vertical passing routes or it's on horizontal passing routes. Whatever you can do to get your playmakers like Wan'Dale Robinson or Kadarius Toney the ball in space where they can go out and work, that's going to make life for Daniel Jones and life for this Giants offense much easier. When you look at what Wan'Dale Robinson did in the SEC last year at Kentucky, he was one of the best receivers in the SEC. 104 grabs, 1,300 receiving yards, 12.8 yards per pop, and he also had 7 touchdowns. This is someone that can be used in multiple ways. He can stretch the field. He can run screen routes. He can get out of the backfield. He can take handoffs. He started his college career as a running back. Then he shifted to being a wide receiver, and he was one of the best in the SEC last year. He is an absolute yards after the catch generator. Last year, 22 forced missed tackles, which was 6th in the NCAA. He also had 16 deep catches. A lot of people, in my opinion, are asleep on what Wan'Dale Robinson can do as a field stretcher vertically down the field. He had 553 deep yards, which was 12th in college football last year. He's also someone that can be used in the screen game, where he had 35 catches on those type of plays for 268 yards. Wan'Dale Robinson is the type of player that's going to be used in a whole bunch of different ways in this Brian Daboll and Mike Kafka offense. Don't be surprised if you see Wan'Dale Robinson lined up in the shotgun next to a guy like Daniel Jones, or he's in the slot, or he's on the outside, or he's in the backfield with Saquon Barkley. If you think about the type of playmakers that have played in Kansas City and for the Buffalo Bills the past couple of years, Wan'Dale Robinson fits that mold to a T. Why am I bringing this up? Mike Kafka. He comes from Kansas City. Brian Daboll, he comes from Buffalo. I'm not saying that Wan'Dale Robinson is Tyreek Hill, but he kind of plays like him. He plays a lot like Mecole Hardman. He possesses some very similar skills that Stephon Diggs and Cole Beasley do. And he's also going to be used in a very creative way like Isaiah McKenzie, on jet sweeps, on handoffs, on pitch plays. All these guys on screen are smaller receivers. Don't let the size fool you with Wan'Dale Robinson. We've already seen him in OTAs go up and snag on players like Aaron Robinson. I like a lot what I've seen from Wan'Dale Robinson. Right now, I have him as wide receiver 5, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't be surprised if he moves up to being the Giants' 3rd wide receiver by the end of this season. Kenny Golladay, Sterling Shepard, Kadarius Toney. We all know those type of receivers have had injury issues in the past. Darius Slayton, I have him as wide receiver 4, slightly above Wan'Dale Robinson for now, just for the simple fact that he's been in the NFL a couple years. but I love what Wan'Dale Robinson is going to bring to this offense. It's going to be exciting. Him, Kadarius Toney on the field at the same time. That's going to be the most electric offense the Giants have had at the wide receiver position in a very long time. Maybe since the trio of Mario Manningham, Victor Cruz, and Hakeem Nicks. That's how special this kid and this group has the potential to be. But to end the topic on talking on Wan'Dale Robinson, let's play a little game. I want to ask you a question. 5 touchdowns for the rookie wide receiver out of Kentucky. Will he have more? Will he have less? Type O in the comment section for over, or if you think he has less than 5 touchdowns, you can go down in the comment section and type U for under. I also want to tell you about today's presenting sponsor, Aura. They're an online digital safety tool to protect you from the frauds and the scammers out there. Look, we're online more than ever. Our information is out there. All of our stuff, our personal information is out there, and you need to be protected with your information online. They offer financial fraud protection, identity theft protection, online as well as device security protection, and they offer family plans up to protect 5 people. Look, keep your identity secure with extensive monitoring of your personal info. Nobody likes it when their identity gets stolen, when people hack into your credit card. You hate dealing with that. The phone calls, the time, it takes too much of your time. It eats away from your peace, and it's very, very stressful. So get started today with the 14-day free trial that you can cancel at any time. Just go to aura.com/chatsports and get hooked up with them. Story number 2 on today's show. Darius Slayton. He's had trade rumors. He's had rumors of him being a cut candidate. But what he's done at OTAs so far, the Giants' first 7 practices, has kind of changed the narrative amongst Giants media and what Darius Slayton is and the type of player and if he's going to be on the roster for the Giants last year. Slayton has been linked in trade rumors because his salary has gone up from $900,000 to $2.5 million for how much he's played and how well he's played after being a 5th-round pick out of Auburn just a couple of years ago. He has been mentioned as a cut candidate, as a trade candidate. But what he's done in OTAs has made people second-guess that. Look, I understand Kadarius Toney, Sterling Shepard, and Kenny Golladay haven't been able to really participate because they've been wearing the red non-contact practice jerseys, but that's not Darius Slayton's problem. All he can do is control what he can control. He's been out there, he's been productive, and he's already caught the eye of Brian Daboll. I'll tell you more about what Brian Daboll had to say about Darius Slayton in a second, but I want to remind you guys to go down right now and hit that big red button. Subscribe to Giants Now by Chat Sports so you can get hooked up with free daily videos on the latest Giants news and rumors. We pride ourselves on being one of the most interactive Giants YouTube channels out there through live shows, Q&As, and chopping it up in the comments section. So if you haven't joined the squad yet, what are you waiting for? Go down right now, hit that big red button, and join the fam here at Giants Now by Chat Sports. Zach Rosenblatt, who's a beat reporter for the New York Giants, one of the best in the game. I really appreciate following him on Twitter. He helps me stay up to date with Giants news and rumors. This is what he said a couple of weeks ago about Darius Slayton. He said, "It feels like a foregone conclusion that the Giants cut or trade Darius Slayton at some point before the start of the season. Doing so would save $2.5 million, as Slayton is making a bit too much to be a 5th wide receiver on this depth chart." And look, I understand that thought process because the Giants right now, they are cap strapped. They just had to cut James Bradberry to sign their rookies. But in my opinion, if Darius Slayton is going to be productive, which, all signs are pointing to after what we've seen in OTAs, $2.5 million for a wide receiver 4 or a wide receiver 5 to go along some wide receivers like Golladay, Shepard, and Toney that have had injury issues in the past, I don't think it's the worst idea. Maybe you could trade a guy like Darius Slayton to the Baltimore Ravens for a guy like Chuck Clark. I'd be down for that. But just to cut Darius Slayton and get nothing in return except for $2.5 million in salary cap space, which are just going to roll over into next year, doesn't make that much sense to me. If you get a future late-round draft pick, that makes a little bit more sense. Because what I've seen from Darius Slayton, just go look at what he did his rookie year in 2019, where he had 48 receptions, was asked to be a wide receiver 1, had 740 yards, and 8 touchdowns as a rookie. Then he took a little bit of a step back in 2020. Had 2 more receptions, played a little bit more, but he didn't match the 8 touchdowns that he had. He had 3 touchdowns. He started off strong that year against the Pittsburgh Steelers, but then in 2021, I feel like his confidence took a step back. He wasn't asked to do the same things, had to take a little bit step back in a role with the additions of Kenny Golladay and Kadarius Toney. I don't think the offense Jason Garrett ran benefited Darius Slayton, whereas I think the offense that Kafka and Daboll are going to put together will benefit Slayton more. He's going to get back to being that deep threat on the outside. Run the post, run the goes, be the field stretcher. So for that reason, I think I would hold on to Darius Slayton, but I want to leave it up to you guys before I give you my opinion on this topic. What should the Giants do with our guy D. Slayton, number 86? Let me know in the comment section. You can go down and type K for keep if you want to keep him on this roster, or if you think it's time for the Giants to trade Darius Slayton and let guys like Wan'Dale Robinson, Toney, Golladay get more reps. That's completely fair. You can go down in the comment section, type T for trade. We've seen it. Darius Slayton has the talent to be successful in the National Football League. His rookie season, he showed the ability to line up on the outside and just run by DBs, be that field stretcher, be the deep threat. Him and Daniel Jones have built up a rapport. 8 touchdowns his rookie year. Then he was asked to do a little bit more in his sophomore campaign, and then a little bit less in his 3rd year, and he took a step back. But what he's doing in his 4th year at Giants OTAs, with no Kadarius Toney, with no Kenny Golladay, and no Sterling Shepard, he's catching the eye of Brian Daboll. And this is what Dabes had to say about Darius Slayton, his performance so far at Giants OTAs. He said, he's been dependable. He's known what to do. He doesn't talk a whole lot. Pretty quiet guy, but a pro. I've got a lot of respect for him. How he handles his business, both on and off the field, he's done a good job. Brian Daboll respects the hard work that Darius Slayton puts in. And look, when you have a new head coach, you have a new offensive coordinator, and you have a new GM, they've all sung the same song. Everyone has a clean slate starting this year. What Darius Slayton did last year, and the drops, and then the not living up to expectations, doesn't matter. Because a guy like Brian Daboll is going to put the best receivers on the field that have earned the playing time, people that he can trust, that know the offense, and have chemistry with Daniel Jones. And that's what Darius Slayton has. We've seen it. They came into the NFL at the same time. They worked together in rookie minicamp. And that greatly paid off in their rookie season when Darius Slayton had 8 touchdowns. I know we've talked about it on the show, that the Giants could cut or trade Darius Slayton. But if you could keep a 5th wide receiver on this roster to go along with a wide receiver core that's had a couple injury issues in the past, I don't think it's the worst idea to hang on to a guy like Darius Slayton. But at this point in the show, and to wrap up today's show, I want to show Darius Slayton some love. The reason is he's been with the Giants for now 3 years. This will be year number 4. He's been healthy. He's been out there. He plays hard. He reps the Giants on social media, and he never misses a practice. He's there at Giants OTAs. He's there at Giants minicamp. He's there at voluntary workouts. That's what I love about Darius Slayton, because he's going to voluntarily show up to those workouts when the trade rumors and the cut rumors are out there. I feel like as Giants fans, we should respect that and show him some love. So type 86 in the comments section. I want to see a whole bunch of 86s down there showing our guy Darius Slayton love.